Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. We are now well and truly in Shadowbringers. We have reacquainted with Alpha Node, and we're dealing with this weird city. So, let us continue. Alright, we are live. Welcome to the Beehive, my little drone, seeking the sting of excitement to liven up your day. I could tell at a glance when folk are new to our happy colony. It's the nervous fluttering, you see, always gives them away. Why don't we play some cards to set you at ease? A quick game of high or low. It's simply a matter of guessing who has a bigger hand. If you win, I'll grant you a single favor, within reason, of course. Interested? Ga- Gambling it is then. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. I would imagine it's individual. Or there's not even really a game played. 3 cards for you, 3 cards for me. Flip one of yours over, and I flip 2 of mine. Now what's your call? Will your total be higher or lower than mine? What number does she have for you guys? Okay, yeah, she's got a 3 and a 7 for me. And I have a 5. I tied with her. I won on my second play. Considerably easier to win when she flips over a 1 and a 3 and I have a 5. Another match of high or low. Come now, little honeybee. We all need our diversions. That's the spirit. Let me sort out the deck. Now, at what point is she going to start cheating? She had some really big cards this time. She had a 6, a 7, and an 8, I believe. Come, whisper in my ear then, and don't be shy. Tell old Tista what she can do for you. That's all? How delightfully wholesome. But if knowledge is what you want, then that is all you shall have. That is what you shall have. In my humble estimation, the most wondrous thing about this town is how safe we are from the Sin Eaters. They say Lord Valthry was born with the power to command them, which means no Yulmoran need ever raise a weapon in defense of the city. Was that the kind of thing you wish to know? If your itch still needs scratching, you might get a few words out of Otherum over there. There's not to worry that Mary Sot likes more than the sound of his own voice. You have to, yeah. Once you win the first hand, you talk to her again, and then you have to win another. Yeah, the game is slightly rigged in her favor. Well, not even really slightly rigged in her favor, but it is slightly rigged. Right. Now, if she was doing the guessing, it would definitely be rigged in her favor. I think they're all wearing skull masks, Emo. Yeah, they are. Yep. Well, you won the first game, then you talked to her, and then you won another game. So, yeah. What's that? New to Yulmore, you say? Yeah. Only just arrived, and already you're looking to peel away the layers of mystery. Oh, I'm all for chatting, but you need to slow down and enjoy life, my friend. I can tell you, I can tell you what. You hop up on stage and give us a dance first, and then, and then we can have our little talk. I'm looking for the mark. Oh, it's over on the other side for me. Did it count? Yep. I can tell you this. I only saw 1 second of Emo's dance. It's definitely better than mine. It's not as bad as the Manderville, but it's still pretty bad. Now that was a show. You're welcome to clamber up on stage anytime you like. So, what was it you wanted to ask me? Ah, yes, something about our fair city. Well, I can tell you it wasn't always so peaceful as it is today. The Yomorian army may be the very essence of military might, but even our forces saw grievous losses in the war against the Sin Eaters. Things changed for us, oh, around 20 years ago, when the old ruler's son came to power. He's got this way with the Eaters, you see. Turns them docile as house cats. I wouldn't be exaggerating to say that they've become something of an ally to Yulmore, no longer an enemy to be feared. And yet, elsewhere, there are still fools who insist on fighting their losing battles. Ah, a toast to Lord Valthree. You gained a preliminary sense of the city. The Chais and Alpha Node will be expecting your return. Very, very likely. I would guess the main question is are the Sin Eaters sentient? Do they answer to something sentient? Or are they just hungry beasts? So. Well, most of the ones we've seen don't. That doesn't mean there aren't some that do. Oh, you've returned from your jaunt around the city so soon? You needn't have hurried back. Young Alpha Node has yet to put brush to canvas. One cannot rush good art, I'm told. Or good artists, apparently. Ah, finally. I like it, Alpha Node. I put together an ensemble out of the garments you chose. Is this satisfactory? Oh, goodness gracious me. That last outfit was precious, but this makes you look positively dashing. You truly are a handsome boy. However am I to decide? I'm going with option 2. Exactly. The lad is an artist, dearest, not a dress-up doll. It's about time we set him to work for the reason we called him here. Must we? I do love a good painting, but I thought since we were enjoying ourselves so thoroughly... Well, I'd not... That is to say, as long as you... Just make sure you give the lad time to prepare. We know who will be upset if he's not ready to paint at a moment's notice. Whatever you say, darling. So, shall we pick out some jewelry next? Uh-huh. She's somewhat disturbing. And he knows it. She is. She'll fly into a rage. Lady Chai has a very particular sense of beauty, and apparently that extends to how I should dress whilst painting. But this obsession of hers works in our favor. The time I spend indulging these distractions is time you can use to continue your explorations. For this excursion, I'd like you to delve into the layer below us and sniff about the military headquarters. I'm sure the understory has its own tale to tell. We're not going to have permission to use that for a long time. And I went the wrong direction. But I'm working my way back to the right direction, it seems. And as always, it has been proven you guys should have followed Emo and not me. Hmm. We're supposed to be here in the understory, which is where we are. But I haven't found who we're supposed to talk to yet. Ah, here we are. You're one of the bonded, aren't you? Like me. Please, I need your help. My throat... I can't sing anymore. I've been making excuses, but it's just not getting any better. If my patron thinks I'm of no use to him, then I need you to sneak out to the derelicts and describe my condition to Thorich. Here's a list of symptoms, and a hunk of meal to pay for his medicines. Please, I have no one else to turn to. Except when it does. Uh, to the derelicts. Except it would appear the person that's supposed to be in the derelicts is actually in the night soil pots. So, not only is he in the night soil pots, he's directly next to the aetheryte shore. You need medicines, tonics, potions. A cure for an ailing voice, is it? No, no medicine will cure this. Methinks your songbird has a lump in her throat. It must be cut out, excised, and even then the voice may never heal completely. Poor little songbird. Will they kick her out? Will they kick her from the nest, I wonder? Or simply silence her chirps? Oh, your face. You didn't know? Of the many hopefuls who enter the city, very few are ever seen to leave, even as corpses. Oh, you might see one or two fortunate fools hurled from the balconies, but the rest? Gone. A town of nightmares it is. Not for the ship's rat. Oh, no, no, no. I am content to scurry around down here and nibble of the crumbs which fall from the table. This consultation is over. You have my verdict, and I have my meal. Good day. Mm-hmm. Yep. Think it might be time for Alphado to dust off his healer pants. But I doubt that's what we're actually doing here. Emo's standing next to me. Zora's standing next to me. Oh. Did you get my medicine? So that's it. What am I to do if I can't sing? Ah, there you are, my sweet canary. Have you been crying again? Don't tell me your voice is still not on the mend. Oh, generous sir, have mercy. I've done all I can, but even the apothecary said... So you've been suffering all this time. I am sorry, my pet. I hadn't realized your affliction was this grave. But you needn't fret. I'll not reward your hours of trilling by casting you out into the street. You are too kind, sir. But what use am I if I cannot sing? I fear the day I become more burden to you than treasure. Then I shall have a word with Lord Valthree, and arrange for your ascension. In that paradise where resides neither pain nor illness will your song ring out clearly once again. Or mayhap you think it is a step too far? No, you would do that for me? Of course. Why, I would almost wish to hasten my own ascension, knowing your blessed instrument was awaiting there to greet me. I went with option one. Ah, you must be a new arrival. Allow me to explain. As all know, the Sin Eaters exist to devour the sinful, but also do they serve to gather the souls of the innocent and shepherd them unto the celestial paradise. It is through Lord Valthree that we learned this truth. It is through Lord Valthree's grace and that the free people of Elmore, Yulmore, are destined to embrace salvation. We are blessed to spend our days surrounded by love and merriment until at last we are called to our final rapture. Even the bonded may find a place within that host, should their patrons deem them worthy. Lord Valthree truly is a great man, isn't he? Now, if you'll excuse me, we must be on our way. May you find eternal salvation for the compassion you have shown my precious canary. Yeah, Hemo. They're being fed to the Sin Eaters. Absolutely. Now, of course, maybe the Sin Eaters just rip out their aether and then they process their bodies into meal. I found a door and it opened, but there was nothing in it. It's good to see you back. You were taking so long I began to worry something had happened. I've been sketching an outline for the portrait, but nay, the chives appear otherwise occupied. Will you share with me what your investigations have gleaned so far? So Lord Valthree boasts some manner of influence over the Sin Eaters, does he? That would explain the reverence in which he is held by the citizenry. And as for this ascension business, I cannot help but be put in mind of that apothecary and his ominous remarks. If so many folk have entered the city over the years, then where do they go? Hm. I take my eye off you for a moment, and you're chattering away with that assistant of yours. Am I to assume the outline is done then? What in the blazes? It's so unflattering. Explain yourself, Alphinote. Where is your artistic interpretation? It should invoke images of affluence and nobility and overwhelm the viewer with its boundless beauty. Urchai, you stated that this portrait was to commemorate your anniversary. Yours being a joyous union, it seems to me that a realistic portrayal. Realistic? I don't want realism. I want perfection. A spectacle to slacken jaws and weaken knees, to make people cry out in amazement. Now, fetch a blank canvas and screaming man. Okay. I say, did that come from above? Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. A tale to make you quiver and your noble blood freeze. There was a villain on the loose, set to ruin our fair city. But our Lord has got him now, and his fate will not be pretty. Yes, the hammer of justice is poised to come crashing down, and one and all who would watch it fall are invited to join his lordship in the offer. A malcontent? How dreadful. And this man is to face sentencing? That's right. In fact, if you're curious, it might be worth you going along for the experience. The offer they mentioned is part of the Emergent, the level above us where Lord Valkyrie resides. Ordinarily, you would be barred from entering, but it seems they'll be opening the doors for the next little while. The crown lift will take you up there. We had better not dawdle then. To the south. Oh dear. This isn't smart, Alpha Node. I'm very interested in who the guy hiding by the door was. Bangrid? Could be, maybe. Could be. Could be. Yeah. Well, I do know in the trailer he does refer to the little girl that's with him as Minfilia. Whether it's actually Minfilia or if Thancred's going a little nuts, I don't know. We'll find out. Mm-hmm. Right. But when we arrived, we saw the Oracle of Light, who was apparently trying to protect the world according to the Exarch. And wouldn't that be Minfilia? True. Maybe Heidelin spun Minfilia back out to live while Heidelin herself is actually holding back the light. I don't know. Right, right. So I guess we'll probably find out. I did not notice it, no. Hmm. Uh-huh. The fact that he actually let us do it surprised me. I thought we had a fight coming. Forgive me. In my anger, I seem to have marched us back outside again. Though it is probably best we leave the island altogether. I believe we've worn out our welcome in Yulemore. In any case, I've seen enough of the world's self-proclaimed capital city to convince me that our battle is against the Senators will find few allies in Calusia. I will accompany you back to the Crystarium. We need to regroup and think on our strategy anew. Kaishir, I have done you a grave disservice. You were hungry and desperate, and I offered you a solution without once considering the risks inherent in you accepting it. If I had but known the price you would be made to pay. You gave me everything. I needed to make your idea. You gave me everything I needed to make your idea work. It was me who made a mess of things, not you. But even after all the trouble I caused, you stepped in and saved me. And now Lord Vol 3 wants us all dead. Why not come back with us to the Crystarium? I'm certain we could find work for you there, if you were willing. No, that would just be me leaning on your kindness again. I need to do some thinking, learn how to stand on my own 2 feet. Very well, but you must promise you'll be careful. The Yulmorians may yet come looking for us. I'll keep my head down, don't worry. And you take care too. Give me the chance to repay what you've done for me. Alph, Alphanode, Lord and Lady Chai. What in blazes did you do? They have the entire city looking for you. I took a peek of your unfinished portrait, Alphanode. Now, I've had many a beautiful and striking picture painted of me, but there was something about your work. It was as if you had caught the very essence of our love and rendered it naked upon the canvas. It was bold, unflinching, and I adored it. Please, you must come back with us and finish what you began. I shall speak with Lord Valthry and vouch for your character. I'm sure we could smooth over any hard feelings. I am sorry, Lady Chai. There is more important matters to which I must attend. More important? What could be more important than enjoying the days we have left to us to the fullest? Pray press me no further. We are leaving, but I would not presume to take the garments you were so kind as to procure for me. One moment. I wouldn't hear of it. Keep the clothes, you silly boy. I insist. And I shall make arrangements so that you can pass through the gate without causing a stir. I expect you to come and visit. I will return, I promise you that. The outrage I witnessed must not go unanswered. The next time we meet, I shall be better prepared to confront the corruption which hides behind the glittering facade. Fair. Uh-oh, we pulled it. No problem. Well, we just managed to kill a level 80 elite. I'll take that. Thank you, my friend, for staying at my side through this whole sordid endeavor. While it's not quite the joyous outcome I had hoped for, our efforts have nonetheless answered a great many questions. Suffice it to say, our plans for saving the First are unlikely to involve the aid of Lord Valthry and his subjects. Come, we must speak with the Exarch and chart a new course. This is far from over. That quest is the Alice quest, but we're probably about to be doing next. The gate, the docile gate. And I would like it noted that, like, a week ago, I was in second place behind Zora, and now Emo and KJ have both passed me. I'm still, I'm still level 75. We talked to the gatekeeper to go in and talk to the Exarch. I'm almost 76. Ah. Yeah, that is true. There is a lot of XP from those. Gotcha. Ah, it is good to be back amongst friends. In such company, I can finally turn my thoughts to the future. But ere we discuss all that we have learned, and begin planning our next step, I think it best that you visit Alice. Her familiarity with Amarang will no doubt provide us invaluable insight. And besides, I know she is eager to see you as I was. Bring a smile to her face. I feel like you could have told us that before coming all the way down here, Alpha Node. Yeah, maybe. And I somewhat feel like that particular teleport right there maybe isn't, well, maybe these stairs don't actually go down there, but hmm? If you've come looking for work, I might have a spot for another guard. Oh, a friend of the Exarch, hoping to meet someone in Honorang. Are you? Then I shall be your guide. I was about to set off for our outpost there, as a matter of fact, so we can leave right away, assuming you have everything you need. All set? Then off to the unforgiving sands we go. You can now travel to Amarang. Speak with the adroit Amaro tamer to fly to the desert. Or, the quest will just take you directly there. Oh, that makes sense now. The voiceover isn't us, it's the Warrior of Darkness. Ugh, no matter how many times I come here, the cold never fails to catch me off guard. The sky may be as bright as in the scorching hours of the day, but it gets brisk enough to make you shiver. Now, the Exarch's letter said that I was to take you to the inn at Journey's Head, which is where this Alice friend of yours is staying. But that's a fair old distance, so I propose we make a stop in Mordsuk and break up the trek, allowing me to attend to some business and you to enjoy the local hospitality. Sound good? Good. Alright, you lot, I'm off. And I'd better not see the goods covered in sand when I get back. Right, we head southwest straight as an arrow. And I don't know what emote that guy actually just did at him, but from the perspective I was at it, like he flipped him off. So from the angle I had my camera at, Zora, I wasn't sure you were in the car because I couldn't see your head. KJ usually stands in the seats anyway. Well, I didn't really expect that. I realized the quest giver was just right here, so I stopped trying to summon my car and just went running off, but summoned it anyway. Stop here for a moment. This is your first visit to Amareng, is it not? Before you cross the river of sand, you need to turn around and feast your eyes on that. Somebody did not have their laser when they built that. That is true. They built them big, didn't they? That's Kasar Sharl, a fortress meant to protect the northern reaches of Nabatharen. Seeing what was left behind, I believe it when they say that it was once one of Norvant's mightiest nations. At least until the flood came along. Great chunks of Nabathareng's lands were lost to the light, its great city included. The few who survived didn't see much point in staying. Most of them, anyway. No, not many chose to come here these days. Not with everything in ruins. Even that hulking great fortress has become little more than an Amaro roost for me and my caravan. But not everywhere is as deserted as this place. Just wait until you see Mordsuk. Let's press on, shall we? Yeah, KJ, I think you're standing in that seat. Okay. But no, Zora, I'm afraid your cat girl is probably the only one of us that's actually of an appropriate height. I mean, I'm a 7.5 foot tall dragon man. Emo's like 6'4" bunny girl, and KJ's 2.5 feet tall. So here we are, Mordsuk. By the blessed shadow, I love this town. Indeed, grats. I wonder when we start unlocking the role quests so that we can start getting more new abilities. Mord Souk, not just full of Mord, but Humes and all the manner of others too. It has long been a refuge for folk displaced by the flood, so the population is nothing if not diverse. Oh, have you met a Mord before? They might look like shifty little blighters, but a more welcoming lot you could never wish to meet. Speaking of which, we should pay our respects to Master Gen Gen. I'll go ahead and let him know we've arrived. Oh, they're kobolds. Minus the armored helmets they're always wearing back in our world. Every Aetheryte's a little different in this place. Well, maybe not this. We're just at a lower angle on this one. This might be the same as the last few we've seen. I'm going with option one. I like the Mord. Mm-hmm. Okay, I had not noticed this, but the food that I eat, the food it actually shows me eating is the food that I am eating. I'm currently eating these, although this is my last one. But watch me. Yeah. Yeah, last night when we were staying there, I saw you eat and look like you were eating an apple. And I wasn't sure if you were actually eating an apple or if it was using your eat an apple emote. But then I had my camera behind me, so I just didn't even notice what it looked like when I was eating. So, is there is there a lookout point somewhere, emo? Indeed not. The door is exactly 2.5 Lalafels tall. Welcome to Ronron's, traveler. I have wares to empty your purse and fill your belly. Take your time, stare and sniff before you choose, but no drooling on the merchandise, yes? Browse Ronron's wares. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and out, target a foodstuff and inspect it with a mouse click. I looked at the meat. That's my ever-burning bounty, made from the best parts of the lizard, cured with special spicy spices. Some find the smell challenging, but it'll warm you up on the chilly desert nights. Now looking at the skewers. Oh, you'll like those. Chewy skewers. Find small frogs hiding under rocks. Spear with stick, then roast over fire. Crackly on the outside, gooey on the inside. Perfect for snacking. Looking at the bread. I call that mush loaf. The middle is stuffed with bittersweet cactus fruits, so even if the bread dries out, it's still moist inside. Keeps you going in the heat. Everyone's favorite. Plump white worms slathered in honey. Once you eat a glazed wriggler, you'll never want any other treat. They all look tasty, yes? Which to choose? Which to choose? I will take the bread. Ah, very wise. You won't wither on the sands with a gut full of cactus fruits filling. You have the gold. And done. Our Vorberite honor buys you 40 loaves of bread. Or one Vorberite honor buys you 40 loaves. And then I stare in astonishment at my hand. And I think I opted to share the rest. Our visitor invites us to feast. Let us give thanks to his great generosity and small appetite. Yeah, so so are we. Consider your coin purse cracked. I am pleased to accept your custom, and Gen will be pleased that you honored ours. Keeping the merchandise down, yes. No returns. I was watching from here. You honored our custom, and with great relish. You will always be welcome in Mordsuk. If you need anything in Amareg, we are proud. We are here to provide. There you go. Okay, maybe I just get new skills when I level up. I don't have to do the quests. Now I have to find out what these things do. Okay, I have a new physical attack. That also restores my magic points. That half my other abilities also restore. So I have not run out of magic points in quite a while. I think I was about 50% most of the fight. You have courage, my friend. Ronron's wares are more exotic than harmful, but I don't envy you the bellyache you'll have on the morrow. Right. Now that you've eaten, I expect you're eager to get back on the road. Would you mind if we delayed our departure a touch? I have a few deals left to close before I can conclude my business here in Mortsuk. Ah, offering your services, are you? Aye, well, an assistant would certainly help hurry things along. I have a receipt here for some goods that need picking up from the market. All properly paid for. You'd just be doing lifting and carrying. I'm really good at that. You should see my bags. I'll go and take care of some last minute haggling then. See you in a bit. You may view the market receipt at any time during this quest by using the relevant item in your key items menu. It also appears over on the actual quest. Alright, I need table cactus from Thornton. Yeah, you gotta find the actual vendor you need, it seems. I haven't I haven't found any of them yet. Here's Thornton that I need. I assume you guys need the same ones, but I'm not certain of that. You came in with Cassard, yes? Good, good. I could finally stop thinking about that sack. Please take your prickly purchase. And yes, I do as well. Let's see. The Bantha Ring Antiquities. Hey, no touching. That merchandise is spoken for. You couldn't possibly change my mind with a better offer. What, Cassard sent you? Well, why didn't you say so? I wouldn't dream of selling his goods to a higher bidder. Oh, no, no, no. Nabra the Ring relics, wasn't it? All packed in that box there. Handle with care. We just need the iron ore from Thalthil. Alright, there we are, Thaltal. Cassard. Cassard sent you, did he? Right, yes. What kind of ore was it again? Iron ore, of course. That would explain this box I have here. It's all yours. Don't tell me you've been round the entire market already. I am very strong. Aye, that's the lot. Alright, good work. And quick work, too, considering you've not set foot in the place before. I'd thought you wanted to sit in the city like the Exarch, but something tells me you're not a stranger to visiting strange lands. Unfortunately, your efficiency presents something of a problem. I'd hoped to conclude all my business before you return, but it seems there's been some confusion over one of the orders I placed. I'll have to drag in my middleman and sort this mess out. I'm sorry to make you sit around and twiddle your thumbs. Cassard, feels like an age since last I saw you. Well, if it isn't the lovely Tesleen. It has been a while, but your timing couldn't be better. This gentleman was on his way to meet with Alice. I'm supposed to be taking him to your corner of the desert, but a misplaced order has commandeered my attention. Wait, I know who you are. Alice has told me so much about you. Must be doing a really good job of it if you can recognize me from her stories. I knew it. How wonderful to meet you in the flesh after hearing all those stories. I'm Tesleen. I work as a carer at the inn, and I've gotten to know Alice quite well since you took up her guard duties there. You want me to take over as his guide, Cassard? My shopping's all done and packed for the road, so it won't be any trouble. That would be a great help, thank you. Well, it looks like you'll be able to head straight out after all. My caravan and I will be in the area for a while yet. Seek me out when you've had your fill of Amarang, and I'll send you back to the Crystarium. Adazay has been desperate to see you, so let's get you to her sooner rather than later. The inn isn't too hard to find, really. You can actually see the top of the rock spires from here. We just need to swing around the ridge and head south. Come on, I'll get my supplies together and meet you outside. Greetings, friend. You like helping people, yes? Maybe you can help me too. You see, my son, Gungun, makes me very proud, but very worried. He works very hard, too hard for his own good. He follows orders, yes, follows them until someone tells him to stop. This is very dangerous, bad for his health. I need you to speak to him, persuade him to rest. He should be near the Red Sarai, probably leaving no stone unturned in his search for relics. Please tell him his father orders him to stop. Search the nooks, search the crannies, search high, search low. Oh, sorry. I did not see you there. Are you lost? Father says I must rest. That will not do. No, no. I will stop, but not yet. I need something to show for my efforts. All the scrabbling, all this searching, and still no shinies. Hmm. You came here to tell me to stop, but if I refuse, your job will not be finished, will it? That will not do either. Wait, I have an idea. If you help me find shinies, my job will be over, and your job will be over, and I can rest. Simple, yes? Look under that rubble and find whatever there is to be found. Maybe it will be valuable, maybe not. Either way, let us keep searching until we get at least one shiny. Your search fails to yield any shinies. Your search fails to yield any shinies. You found a signet ring. Yep. We had to do as we were told, and it said to search the 3 destinations. What did you find? Not more rubble, I hope. Ooh, this looks very special. Such pretty patterns. I've never seen one like this before. But how much is it worth? I am an expert in finding shinies, not a historian. Perhaps we should ask someone. Once we sell it, we will divide the profits between us. We worked as a team, so half for you, half for me. Fair is fair. Nah, it's just a regular quest. I don't have room in my quest log for regular quests. Well, technically, I have some spaces too. I'm sitting at 24 out of 30. And I completely missed that Zora hit 79 at some point. All set? Oh, I should probably mention the wildlife. Whilst most of them will leave you alone, but will leave you be if you keep your distance, the local coyotes have learned to prey on folk heading home from the markets. I could usually swing a sword well enough to fend them off, but I may have loaded myself down with too many bargains today. Do you think you can handle any beasts that try to make a meal out of us? I thought you might. Alize was always saying how much you. Let's get going, shall we? How much we what? Sorry, that wasn't much time to shout a warning. Were you bitten? Those things can be nasty. And yet hardly a match for you, it seems. I'd always thought Alisaie was strong, but in her mind she was never... now it makes sense. Well, we should push on. It might be best if you scout ahead and clear out any coyotes that have our scent. I'll wait here so you can fight without any distractions. The music just changed considerably. Or are we in combat? Ah. Looked at your dragon in the wrong tone of voice, you mean. Oh, thank goodness you're back. I could hear the howling and snarling from here. Frightful creatures. Let's hope the rest have seen your handiwork and know to avoid us now. I need to get these supplies back to the inn. Indeed. It has a name. Are there any others around here? Then I'm killing it. It would appear there was no reason to kill it. That's right. This is it. Thanks to you, I didn't have to drop my shopping even once. Come to think of it, I'm glad I didn't have to make the trip alone. It seems you ended up escorting me. I'll have to repay the favor somehow. But first, let's head inside, shall we? Welcome to the inn at Journey's Head. You might be our first visitor from the Crystarium since Alice arrived. It's not much, but it's home for the afflicted and a handful of carers. I went with option one. I did not. Ah, well, my options were the afflicted, or it's not contagious, is it? You don't know? I don't think I've met anyone besides Alice who was unfamiliar with our situation here. Most folk have grown up knowing someone who knew someone. Hmm. I might leave. I might leave out something obvious, so it might be best to have Alice give you the full explanation. Gotcha. Now, where is she? I think she might be out on patrol. You could wait, I suppose, but why not go and surprise her? She usually takes a look at things from the watchtower first, so you might be able to catch her there. It's not far. Head out the south side, and you'll soon see it. I'll stay behind in case she comes back while you're gone. Oh yes, Aetheryte. Hmm? Ah, yes. Alize is nowhere to be seen, but you spot fresh footprints on the ground, and they look to be about the right size. Yes, Alize's tiny childlike footsteps. Well, yeah, I mean, she would have arrived here without her clothes. So we're clicking the footprints likely. Yep. I believe there she is. Oh, I'll stand here and wait for KJ. While I wonder why this enemy has not aggroed on me. Now that they can see me when I got in their visual range, or got what direction they were looking. I actually like that if that's actually the way they work. Oh, that isn't her, that's an NPC. Or another player. There are more tracks here, but they end in a mess of disturbed sand. Ah, so that's what the afflicted are. KJ, right as you appeared, Zora's minion did a backflip, and I thought you did a backflip. It's just a matter of time, more or less. More for some, less for others. Those patients will all become monsters in the end. And to add insult to injury, the afflicted are feared, shunned, cast out of society, and exiled here to the edge of the world. The only good thing I have to say about this hellish place is that it has served me well as a training ground. Tesleen and the others have also been kind enough to share their knowledge of the Sin Eaters, which is knowledge I can now share with you, while you help me finish my patrol, of course. Here's what we'll do. I'll take the east side of the inn, and you clear the west. That way we can have an undiluted experience with the resident terrors. These marks on your map are where the usual trouble spots are. You can assume that any beast with a white hide or carapace is a Sin Eater. But you'll know for sure soon enough when they come slavering after your aether. Remember, it's kill or be killed with these monsters. Once you've slain whatever's prowling around out here, we can rendezvous back in the north entrance. Good hunting. How did you fare? I thought there might be one or two lurking on the fringes. Nothing out of the ordinary for this area. I expect you notice it yourself, but eventually, the lesser Sin Eaters are no more deadly than any natural predator you might encounter in the desert. It's when they appear in numbers that they pose a threat, much like the Void Scent. They have an unfortunate tendency to flock to the strongest of their kind. Thus, when a powerful sin eater goes on the hunt, it might be attended by a veritable swarm of the weaker kin. Imagine an army of such creatures descending on a village or a hamlet. That's the basic idea behind my patrols, to cull their ranks often enough that their numbers won't be overwhelming when the big ones come out to play. And you've certainly helped on that front. Let's report our victories to Tesleen, shall we? Alisaie tells me you helped her on her patrol. You have our thanks, and my apologies for leading you from one battle to another ever since the moment we met. In any case, I'm glad to see the two of you have found each other. You have no idea how badly Alisaie has missed your company. Everything is always, if he were here, he would. That's an exaggeration, and I don't sound like that either. I was simply trying to view matters from another perspective, and I respect his methods. Honestly, after seeing him in action, I could understand why. The way he leaps into the fray without hesitation, it really is something to behold. I might be a little smitten myself. I'm only teasing, though I've no doubt he deserves all the admiration he gets, just as you do. I'd love to lay out the welcome. I'd love to lay out a welcome meal, but the duties I put off when I went to the market are still waiting for me. There are 101 things that need doing. I'm sorry, but would you mind waiting here with Alisaie? What, and twiddle our thumbs while you work yourself to death? Surely there's something we can help you with. I could do with a hand, it's true. Thank you. And you could start by helping me sort out the larder, Alisaie. While we do that, could you tend to a few of the patients, perhaps? There are three in particular I mean to visit. It's just a matter of saying a few words to them and seeing that their skin isn't caked in sand. Their names are Plaunil, Todden, and Halric. They may not give much in the way of response, but I promise they'll be pleased to meet someone new. Thank you. Todden glances up at you blankly, but you notice the tension in his face ease slightly. Ulrich remains utterly still as you wipe the sand from his cheek. The texture of his skin has hardened into something akin to plaster. You've seen to the patients. How were they? Good, that's good. I knew they would enjoy meeting you. I am concerned about Halric, though. I'll have to speak with the other carers, but I think his time may be near. We shall leave you to have that discussion then. I was going to take him to Mordsuk if you have any errands any errands there that need doing. Well, I suppose there is one thing. Would you pick up a nectarine from the markets, please? Cassard's caravan just passed through, so Ron should have some fresh fruit. Come then. There's something I want you to see. Right after we stop at Ron's stall, of course. I will not buy the bread. I can tell you that. Pass. I'm not sure I've ever actually had any French food that I would desire to have again. Well, maybe some French breakfast foods are good. Oh, back again, are you? You need another taste of Ronron's wares? Actually, we're looking to buy a nectarine. Do you have any in stock? Ah, yes, nectarines, peaches, grapes, fresh and juicy. Hmm, given how richly you cracked your coin purse with me, I might still owe you food. Here, take this one, free of charge. Gods, I've never seen a Mord merchant give away something for nothing before. How much coin did you spend here? Ah, yes, I'll take a jar of honeyed worms as well. Yes, I would cringe as well. Oh no, they're not for me. It's an offering of sorts. The worms, if you please. Only the best wrigglers for you. Come again, my friends. Right, that's our shopping chores taken care of. Let's head up past the eighth right to the main tower. The view I want to show you, it can only be seen from this very top. Alize does look considerably more like a red mage in her current get-up. We just need to find her a hat. Here are your precious worms. That buys us a trip to the top of the tower, does it not? Glazed wrigglers. You actually bought them. I really shouldn't let you, but just this once, alright? Only once. Never fails. Shall we? And my current food is soup, KJ, and looks like I'm drinking out of a cup. That, yeah, look like a kebab. Hmm. I need to have a word with you about the mushrooms that you're using for your soup, KJ. I'm glad I was able to show you that. When it comes to understanding the catastrophe which befell the first, one glimpse of that empty wasteland beyond the wall is worth more than an hour of Oriange's lecturing. And I need you to know beyond a doubt that Tesleen has no choice. The nectarine would be a kindness. It isn't just the threat posed to others. When a person becomes an eater, the pain appears to be excruciating. The carers are truly fond of their wards, and would spare them that suffering. It is their way of fighting back against a fate worse than death. I guess we can just go to the end. You're back. I hope you had a nice time. Did you manage to find a nectarine? Thank you. Alice has explained why I wanted this, has she? I can see it in your eyes. But we may not need it just yet. I spoke with the others, and we've decided to keep an eye on Halric for now. Thanks to you, though, if his time does come suddenly, we'll be ready to send him on his way with a taste of happier days. Well, nothing is going to happen for a little while yet. So let's see if we can't lighten the mood. We don't want our gloomy faces worrying the patients. I think it's time for that welcome meal, don't you? Take a seat, and I'll make us a nice stew. We have to go look for Halric. I don't know what's gotten into him, but if he's wandering out there alone. We'll assign search areas to split up. Any idea where he might be headed? No, he's never done anything like this before. But it can't be a coincidence that the other patients are suddenly so agitated. They could sense something. In any case, let's keep the search close to the inn. Halric isn't very sure on his feet, so he won't have gotten far. I'll search the east side. Please, Halric. Please be alright. I'll cover the north and west then. You can take everything from here to the south. You see no sign of Halric. Maybe he went further west. You scan your surroundings in search of Haldric, and suddenly find yourself under attack. Well, that was more than a little disturbing. Hey, I'm sorry. I tried to tell the carers what happened, but I can't be the shoulder they lean on. Not like this. So unfair. Kathleen was always so cheery with the patients, telling them not to be scared, that there wouldn't be any pain. Of all the people in the world to suffer such a fate. I imagine you're just as shocked as the rest of us, so I appreciate what you're doing here. Me? I can bear. I don't have the words. Without a body, we can't even give her a proper burial. And she cared about that sort of thing, about giving people the chance to say their goodbyes. Ulrich is as unresponsive as ever. He stands motionless, staring up into the sky where the Sin Eaters made their escape. Going with option 2. Thank you. What you're doing, it means a lot to them, to me. Sorry to interrupt. We realized we hadn't thanked you for rescuing Halric. You weren't hurt at all, were you? Hurt? There wasn't even a fight. I was too late, too slow, and I thought I could protect you. You can't blame yourself for things beyond your control. You brought Halric back safe and sound. No one could have done any more. I'm sorry, but I've come to a decision. I won't be continuing my role here. I hope you will forgive me for leaving you, and that you will delay Halric's last meal for as long as you possibly can. Not until it's too late, of course. Just give him what time you can. We always do. Of course, she would have done the same. Farewell, Halric. Keep Tesleen's words close to your heart. Wait, you're leaving this very moment? I understand how you must feel, but surely this is a bit hasty. Do you even have anywhere to go? I have a destination in mind, yes, and a purpose. This damned light, building without cease. It's the reason we can't save those corrupted by the Eaters. But what if we corrected the balance? Even if it were only to little by little. Even if it took years, it would surely make things better. Now hold on there. Everyone knows there's too much light, but how could you ever hope to get rid of it? You'd have to change the whole world. That's right. We should return to the Crystarium. I may not be able to repel the Eaters on my own, but I could use the skills I have gained here to hurt them. I'm sure it's coming. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it's coming. Mm-hmm. Of course, as KJ mentioned a few weeks ago, we fought one like that in one of the dungeons back in Stormblood, too. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh no, that's definitely the thing from the cutscene. Yeah. I'm actually just wondering why we saw one in a dungeon back in Stormblood. And what they are in our world since we don't have Sin Eaters. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Ah. Man, I can't help that my hair is amazing. Right. Perfect anime protagonist hair. Mm-hmm. I just had a thought that I'm never going to be able to unthink about the Ellison. Is we've seen other younger Ellison, and they're all alpha node analysis size, but we know how big they end up. Good God, your knees. I am so sorry for your knees. That growth spurt must be terrible. Because, I mean, they're not any longer lived than the other races. So, at some point, they just must suddenly double in size. Forgive me, I couldn't stay there a moment longer. But I was serious about what I said. While the men and women at the inn battle against the blight with kindness, I must fight it in my own way, with steel. Miss Alize, is there anything I can get you? You're swift as Amaro. I need to return to the Crystarium immediately. As you wish. And for the record, I very much understand extreme growth spurts. When I was considerably younger, I had a about 9-inch growth spurt over a year, so my knees certainly felt it. Came back to school after that summer and nobody knew who I was. Remind me to wear goggles if we ever fly over Amarang again. I've barely gotten the sand out of my eyes. But the wind did help to clear my head, at least. I think I'm ready to meet with the Exarch. We need to talk about where we're going to, how we're going to wipe the Senators out, shall we? Alright, I'm going to try not to use the teleport and just run down. You guys feel free to use the teleport. Well, there were no stairs, but it was pretty easy to jump over the various fences. Thank you for seeking me out. It meant a lot to have you there at my side. And looking at Alpha Node, I'd say he's eager to begin this discussion as I am. I say we lay out our experiences before the Exarch and step back and see what kind of picture they make. Then we can decide where to go from here. Ulminster Swinch is in the north of Lakeland, so we had best make haste with our preparations. In fact, meet me outside the Crystarium at the crossroads northwest of the Ascensor Gate, and I shall lead you there myself. AFK for a minute, I'll be right back. And I am back. Well, remember, the goal the Ascians want is to reunify all the worlds to bring their god back. Because that's why the worlds were split in the first place. I think. No, I mean, this is Final Fantasy XIV lore, but I want to say we've actually. That was what they were talking about toward the end of Realm Reborn, or maybe Heavensward. the Asians actually said that, but I can't remember. It's been a long time. We're supposed to go over here to this Aethernet shard and go to Lakeland. Well, he didn't want Alizé and Alphinaud to do that. We didn't go running off ahead of everybody else, so... I did just have a thought. Uh, Talk about how each world got overcome by a different kind of aether and sent it back toward the source. Is it perhaps that each one of the shards was meant to maintain balance of one particular kind of aether? So that's why we're having so much problems with Hydaelyn being weak, the power of the light dying down on the source is because all the light is here. All set. If we follow this road north, we will arrive at the northern staging point. The village itself lies not far beyond. Quickly now. Of course, another thought is, like the Asians have been saying, is every one of our victories has actually been serving their purpose. Maybe our victories on the source have actually been making things worse here. And also, just for the record, we are nearing our first dungeon. I didn't even think about being on the lookout for aether currents. So we may have already passed one at some point. Well, there actually aren't all that many of them. Yeah, so far the 3 zones we visited only have 4 aether currents to find. And then 5 quest-related ones. Compared to Stormblood, well, no, all Stormblood's areas were the same. Okay, I feel like I'm going crazy now because apparently Heavenswards were also only 4 to find in the zones. Yeah. I felt like there were like a dozen we had to find in some of those zones. Yes. Although one of them also appears in the cutscene. Don't feed him after midnight. It was almost dead, so I figured I'd join in. Well, I have apparently doing that unlocked the shared fate system, and I now have one gemstone out of 10,000. Which tells me we should probably stop and do fates when we see them. Holminster Switch is past these gates and through the woods. It is not exactly a near neighborhood to the Crystarium, but as we occupy the same region, we have built up something of a cooperative relationship. What can we expect inside, Captain? The town is beset by a swarm unlike any we have seen in recent years. We did our best to evacuate the villagers, but as many as half remain. Judging by the number of eaters present, we have a good reason to believe that a light warden leads the attack. How convenient. It seems we'll have our chance to slay a warden sooner than we expected. One does not simply slay a warden. Has no one told you what happens if you defeat one of those fiends? They hold more light inside them than all their underlings put together. It can be struck down, aye, but its essence won't dissipate like the weaker kind. Vile aether will billow outwards and envelop the nearest living being, a reckless young swordswoman, perhaps, and turn her into a brand new warden. Which is why they need us. Ah, well, you can leave that particular quandary to us. I must ask that the guards stand down and allow us to engage the leader of eaters alone. Concentrate on the survivors. We must save every life we can. But what if... Understood, my lord. As captain of the guard, however, I will not watch you brave such danger without an escort from our ranks. I insist that I go with you. Very well. Then our warden slaying party shall include myself, the Leveliers, Captain Lina, and last but not least... A formidable group indeed. Into Holminster we go. Once we reach the Light Warden, do not hold back. We strike to kill. Oh, that's interesting. The instance dungeons encountered in the Shadowbringers main scenario quest can be completed solo alongside a supporting party of NPCs. To make use of this feature, simply speak to one of your NPC companions near the entrance to the instance and select the option to form a party. When forming a party, you will need to follow the same role restrictions imposed when using the Duty Finder. Alternatively, you can find party members via the Duty Finder Duty Finder as usual and complete the instance with fellow players instead. Indeed. I guess the captain would be the tank of this particular group. I would imagine that he is a black mage, with Alize being a red mage and Alpha Node being the healer. Are we ready? Hmm. Good point. But yes, we are the Warrior of Light, bearing a crystal of light. We could probably absorb the light from the Light Weeder, or Light Warden when it dies. Alright. The Path of Light is moderate damage to the entire party. Pillory is the tank buster. Brazen Bull summons 4 untargetable orb adds that fire off cross AoEs, leaving small section of the arena safe. Thumbscrew is cast during Brazen Bull. It's a line AoE towards the safe area. Forgiven Dissonance charges to the edge of the arena. And Wooden Horse, cast immediately after Thumbscrew, a large cone attack directed toward the center of the arena. Indeed it is. AoE inbound. Get over here. Oh, never mind. She didn't. Well, I know, but she was supposed to do that cone attack next, but didn't do it. Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. Sadly, the gear is still inferior to our Tombstone gear. They're turning the sheep. Or whatever animal they were raising here. Probably best we didn't bring Alice. Alright, the Tickler is the tank buster. Scold's Bridle is a moderate damage to the entire party. Fevered Flagellation is each player gains a number of DOTs above their head, 1 to 4. Tesleen will charge at each player in order, dealing damage to that player as well as any other player in the way. And Exercise, a stack marker on one player alongside 4 circle AoEs around the center of the arena. All 5 targets will leave behind a puddle that inflicts bleed. They said, better kill that one before she can summon the big dragon. They've been aggroing automatically. Each group spawns and attacks us as we clear them. You just happen to be standing the closest when they spawned. I watched them do it. And you did, as a squishy DPS should, and ran away. Exactly.
Oh boy.
I bet I've had no audio all night. Oops. I like that it had its own little, like, boss name splash across the screen.
Yeah.
Alright. There's Scavenger's Daughter, which is moderate damage to the entire party. Head Crusher, which is the tank buster. Pendulum, which is a targeted proximity marker on the tank, followed immediately by a proximity marker in the center of the arena. Chain Down targets a random non-tank player with a crosshair. Shortly after, the player will become fettered, unable to act, destroy the iron chain to free them. Aether's Up, large cone attack directed at a fettered player. Extremely high damage that lingers for a bit and inflicts stacks of vulnerability up. So we do not want to get hit by that. Left and Right Knot, 180-degree arc to the respective side of Philia. Philia telegraphs this attack by raising the arm it's about to attack with, deals moderate damage while also stunning players hit and knocking them directly in front of Philia. Then there's Taphophobia, which is player-targeted AoE. Into the Light, which is a line stack marker on a random player. And Fierce Beating. Philia moves to the center of the arena with a rotating marker around it, and a damaging puddle will appear inside of her hitbox. Philia will slam the ground in front of it with its arms, creating 2 moving circle AoEs traveling outward. Then Philia will swing its tail in a cone attack behind itself, rotating slightly as it does so. The attack will repeat until Philia has made a full 360-degree rotation. That sounds like that might be a little complicated to avoid. But it sounds like it's mostly stay out of the thing, stack when you're supposed to stack, and be sure to break a person out of the iron chains. And when she's casting, I'm not even sure how to pronounce this. I called it Nut, but it's spelled Knout. When she's casting left or right, pay attention to which arm she has raised and get to the other side of her.
KN not?
Knout. Nout, maybe. Alright, here we go. I think that means stay away from me. Somebody's about to get chained down.
Me.
Right arm up, get to the left side.
That did not make it.
Get to the other side.
Oh, shoot. Move. Oh, dang it.
Oh, dang it. How was that?
I completely missed that, didn't I?
I got in it, and I think that's really all that matters.
I couldn't get in there.
Get away from me. Okay, here comes the weird thing. And it wasn't as nearly as bad as it sounded. Left arm's up.
I missed it.
Damn it.
Right arm's up.
That's fine.
I got an arrow at me. There's sights. Oh, ouch.
Now get out of this thing as quickly as possible. Feel free to limit break it whenever, KJ.
I did not do that good.
On me, on me, on me. Oh.
I did not get there in time. Sorry,
That's
Emo.
okay.
Stay away from the middle of the field. Here comes the big thing again.
To me, to me.
Right arm up.
I'm down.
Okay, I'll get you in a sec.
It always follows one arm with the other, it seems.
Yeah.
Oh, we got him.
Yay.
Or I guess.
It.
Thing.
Yeah, I would say this thing is well and truly an it.
Too big arms for legs.
Actual sage gear dropping. First of that I've ever
Yeah, they're
seen.
cool looking.
It's releasing its ether! Fall back! We cannot let it touch us! Quickly, my lord, we must withdraw!
That will not be necessary, Captain. Though I appreciate your concern. The eternal light of these creatures has confounded us for nigh on 100 years. For each we have put down, another has risen up in its place, born of the self-same ether relinquished by its predecessor. But now we have a way to contain that corruption. The blessing of light, and the hero who wields it now stands before you. Behold! The monster's power is broken, and the world, twisted by its touch, returns to its rightful form.
Sky. It can't be.
What's happening?
It's so beautiful. The sunless sea. The warrior of darkness has come.
Is that what I think it is?
The night sky. As it should be.
Who are you people? You killed a warden, then bathed in its ether as if it were a spring shower, and now the sky? The legends are true. My lord?
How many years have I waited for this moment? For the one possessed of her blessing. For you. You have vanquished the Light Warden of Lakeland, and for the first time in a century, darkness has returned to the mantle of night. Without the ever-present light to sustain them, the Sin Eaters will have no choice but to retreat. Yet our victory is far from complete. Though darkness has fallen here, the other wardens yet bask beneath burning skies, feasting upon what little life remains. Even should it cost me all I have, I would see each and every one of them slain, that this world might be spared from oblivion. Not only for the first, but for the source as well. Save one, and we save the other. But, be that as it may, I concede it was wrong of me to summon you to this fight against your will. I swear, on my life, I will one day atone for that deed. But for the present, I beg you stay and see this fight to its conclusion. Cast down the wardens and restore darkness to the first. On behalf of the first, I offer you my deepest thanks.
I understand there is much at stake here, Exarch, but why do you risk yourself so readily? It must have been a dangerous drain on your ether to summon even one person across the rift.
I do it for my people, of course. To give the Crystarium the tomorrow it deserves.
That is true now, yes, but the city had yet to be built when you first called forth the Crystal Tower. I'm simply curious to know what prompted you to commit yourself so completely to this particular course.
There are things which we can ill afford to lose. And I sensed from the first that I had a part to play in preserving them. Forgive me. I fear the events of the day may have taken their toll. Despite appearances, I am an old man. One burdened with many difficult memories, some too painful to recall.
Well then, I'm sorry for pressing you. It's a family failing, I'm afraid.
One which has served us well more often than not. Needless to say, we will continue to fight at your side until the last Senator is defeated.
Come then, my warriors of darkness. Let us gather the surviving villagers and make our way back to the Crystarium.
That. Not Warriors of Darkness, Warriors of Light. We just need to set it right.
I gained a level in there.
Oh, nice.
So
Oh,
did I.
nice. You know, it's funny that when they said that the Warrior of Darkness is back, I thought of Galaxy Quest when Alan Rickman's character helped save them from being pulled out, and they were like,
Oh, yeah.
Captain, I can't remember his name now. All of a sudden, he saved
Suffocated.
us. Yeah.
The captain saved us, and it was Alan Rickman right there.
Yes. Yes.
Just sat and they're like, oh god.
Yeah.
Oh, Yep.
Well, also did you guys see the Warrior of Light in the background?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't even acknowledge
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of turned away and faced the Exarch as he appeared back there. So I don't think we even noticed him. And apparently we're the only ones who could see him, so...
Yeah, and there were 3 choices, and I wonder if one of the other choices would have had us... Because I picked the top one.
So did I.
So I
Okay.
wonder if one of the other ones would have had us turning or something.
No, I picked the third one and it didn't do anything. I'm assuming it didn't do anything different for you guys.
Yeah, I imagine it didn't.
Because I just turned also, and I don't even think I looked at the Warrior of Darkness back there.
How quickly you have justified my faith in you. So many lives saved, and the sky itself heralds your success. A single victory in a larger struggle, perhaps, but a momentous one nonetheless. You can enlist NPC companions to revisit completed instances by opening the Trust interface located under Duty in the main menu, which I'm going to do just to see what it looks like. And oh, apparently the Exarch can be anything. He can be whatever you need him to be.
Oh, interesting.
And it has a fairly cool interface, I'll give it that.
So regular daytime is still purple.
Now, as for how we proceed from here. The villagers we evacuated earlier have arrived safely in the Crystarium. They seem to be accepting their situation for the moment. Most folk are far too distracted by the sky to worry about wounds or lost homes. They whisper and wonder if the Warrior of Darkness has come. It is to be expected. I must ask a favor of you. Would you be so kind as to conceal your involvement in this endeavor for the time being? Seeing the light recede from Lakeland is a momentous occasion, and many will be swept up in a maelstrom of excitement and confusion. Should we come forth as the legendary Warrior of Darkness, I fear that no matter how good your intentions, such an appearance would throw the city into disarray. I find myself in agreement with the Exarch, although my concerns are more focused on Yulmore. It may be best if you maintain a low profile until we see how Volthry responds to all of this. My thanks. Though we cannot freely celebrate your success, pray allow your heart to be buoyed by the joy of our citizens, a joy you surely brought into being. Ah, and I must ask the same discretion of you, Captain. 'Tis my intention to share with our people the tale of a great warrior who stood in defiance of the Sin Eaters. This unnamed champion defeated the Light Warden and has since departed for parts unknown, yes? As you wish, my lord. Your penchant for mystery is nothing new, and I will encourage folk not to question this either. Although I expect to be told the whole truth of it one day, about all of you. With that settled, I shall return to the Crystarium and make an address to the people. These explanations and adjustments will consume much of my time, so pray take the opportunity to rest and recover from your exploits. And to think, you'll not even need to shutter the windows to enjoy a dark and peaceful night's sleep. I must stay behind and coordinate the evacuation of the remaining survivors. And I hesitate to ask after all you've done here today, but could I ask you to pass on a message on your way to the Pendants? Please tell Bragi, or please let Bragi know that we're bringing in a number of injured, and that any restoratives in the markets need to be reserved for the infirmary. We should start making our own way back to the Crystarium. Slowly, mind you. It wouldn't do to arrive too soon after the Exarch. I'm staying behind as well. There's something I need to check on in Homeminster. We already went through the village top to bottom, Alizé. We should all take the chance to rest, you included. I knew one of those eaters, and I can't just I can't rest not now. So please, I wish to be left alone for a while. That means you as well. I shall be cross if you try to follow me. I promise to find you later, when I feel myself again. Just you and me then? Shall we? We're just going back to the Crystarium, so might as well teleport there.
Oh, yeah. Well, the guy we need to talk to is at the front door, right?
Right here. Oh, and I also noted that Alisaie seems to be wearing proper shoes. And Alpha Nodes actually look fairly proper now, too. As opposed to those weird shoes they used to be wearing.
Give themselves some height.
Well, yeah, Alphino's shoes were more proper because of the new outfit that, what's her name, gave him.
Right.
And then the new outfit that she gave Alisaie had the same damn boots.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, the Crystarium seems relatively ordered, wouldn't you say? The Exarch's speech must have been reassuring to hear. On the contrary, there is something jubilant in the air. I have a feeling this night won't be quite as peaceful as our hooded friend predicted. I think I shall take a brief stroll around town before retiring to my chambers. Once you've discharged your duty to Bragi, I suggest you do the same. Sleep well. I hope untroubled dreams find you and Alisaie both. Yep, the Crystarium and Lakeland actually have weather now.
Interesting. He's concerned about that one place, but they still have the endless light, so maybe they don't know yet.
Well, they've got wardens inside that building, I think.
Which
Warren?
place?
Elam?
Yeah, that place.
Yeah, I mean, they still have Soul Eaters or Sin Eaters all over the place there.
Yeah.
Alright, what can I do for you? Looking to buy a lantern, like every other stumbling soul in the city? I see. Well, Captain Lyda can rest assured that any potions I spot coming in will be set aside for the wounded. Hang on a moment. If you're carrying messages for the guard, does that mean that you were there, then, at the Battle of Holminster? A stalwart lad like you might want to pay a visit to the Wandering Stairs, make himself known. I'm sure Glynard can introduce you to some interesting opportunities. Long camera pan.
Dizzy. Can't believe that.
Celia, more beer for table 2. And a couple of pints of mead for table 3 while you're at it. Coming right up. Sorry, we're rushed off our feet today, sir. Can I get you anything? Drinks are on the house. Hmm? Oh, that Bragi has a twisted sense of humor. I think he'd send you to me at a time like this. The first real night in near 100 years has folk all riled up and then some. What's more, there was that eater business at Holminster Switch. They say a light warden was destroyed without a damn trace, and it was the warrior of darkness who did the deed. I really must apologize for Glynard. He's been almost as rowdy as our customers, and that's no small feat. A lot of our regulars are bounty hunters, you see. They mostly go after eaters, and the rumor of the warrior's appearance was the spark to their kindling. You know how the weak eaters are drawn to the strong ones, right? Aye, they swarm like angry bees around a queen. You need to look no further than Holminster for proof of that. But attacks on that scale don't happen every day. Praise the blessed shadow. No, the more common threats are the strays. No one knows why, but every now and then an eater will leave the pack to prowl alone. Those are the ones who you run into on the road if your luck is foul. They're a danger to everyone, so the settlement council puts bounties on their heads, and our bar here is a convenient place for hunters to gather and share information. Seems a few of them were inspired by the warden slaying even more than most. These are the types who have their sights set on the absolute worst of the strays, a class of eaters they've dubbed the cardinal virtues. The virtues showed up out of nowhere about 3 summers ago, and when historians heard about the descriptions given by the survivors, well, apparently they share an appearance to the villains who caused the flood. And if that doesn't send a chill down your spine, they're also reported to be as tough as light wardens. Not the kind of prey you could take down single-handed. Our virtue hunters had all given up, but knowing the warrior of darkness is out there has lit a fire in their bellies. Just look at them. That Hume over there with the oversized sword is grandson. He's in it for revenge. Wants to recruit a comrade in arms as tenacious as he is. The Mistel lad over there is Lurik. Don't be fooled by those dooby cheeks. He's as hard a hunter as they come. He just lost a partner and seems to be on the lookout for a new one. There's Serig. Word is he seeks an expert in magecraft to help fight the virtue he's after. Last we have Geoth, dwarf and drunkard both. Wanted to join forces with a healer, and only a healer. Something about needing a mender's wisdom. I've seen my share of competent veterans, and you have that look about you. Maybe you should introduce yourself to one of the hunters. Who knows? Together you might even collect the bounty on a cardinal virtue. Now there's a grand idea. Imagine the prestige my bar would earn if we boasted the patronage of a successful virtue hunter. You've gained access to the role quests. A separate quest line and story is now available for tank, physical DPS, magical range DPS, and healer roles. In order to reach the final stages of the Shadowbringer's main scenario, you must complete at least one role quest line. Speak with a virtue hunter at the Wandering Stairs to accept the quest offer. Basically, these are like our class quests.
Where'd the dwarf go?
You don't get the dwarf. You're not a healer.
Whatever.
But I wanted to get that quest, or that part of the quest done so that we could do these on our own time, since it is now late.
Mm-hmm.
So just one moment, I'll wind up the stream. Alright guys, I believe we are going to call it here. Sorry for being muted for most of the stream. I thought I unmuted right at the beginning, and I did not. So, until next time, I want to thank y'all for joining me. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I'll see y'all next time. Have a good night.